Well, ancient artifacts belonging to Egyptian King Tutankhamun are being restored. The items, including clothing, toys, and furniture, will be displayed at the Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza, Egypt, now under construction. VOA correspondent Miriam Diallo reports.
It shouldn't be surprising that the boy king who ruled Egypt for 10 years until his death at 19 had a toy collection.
Here we have a swan which is shaped like a plate. It's like the spinner toy that we used to have in the old days. This toy rotates and has a colorful effect because of the decoration on the spinner. We also have the bird and finally the swan, and below it we can see the eggs.
Other royal belongings being restored include pieces of fabric that have been stored at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square since 1933.
It has remained inside the storage rooms until 2013, when we started transporting the pieces from the storage rooms to the Restoration Center in order to prepare them for display for the first time in the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Artifacts from the so-called Golden King's tomb were discovered by British archaeologist Howard Carter in 1922. Most were made of gold or contained plated layers of the precious metal.
His tomb is the only tomb to be discovered completely and fully intact. It has a wide range of different ancient pieces, fabrics, and ancient substances that show a clearly advanced method of craftsmanship and technology in pharaonic Egypt.
King Tut's priceless possessions will be on public display when part of the Grand Egyptian Museum opens later this year. Mariama Diallo, VOA News.
The U.S. Congress is still debating the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, and Obama-era program for immigrants in the U.S., which expires in March, and those affected are worried about the outcome. African communities are also voicing concerns over the impact of the Trump administration's move to end the policy. Channels Television's correspondent in Washington, Maria Bird, reports.
The true impacts of DACA are not always understood, as many African nations will also be affected by DACA in 2019.
I come as a teenager, you know, went to high school, went to college, got married, have a beautiful American daughter, and we realized that if we don't continue to fight, if we don't continue to represent, those within our community will just be left behind.
Two countries that I think they'll be incredibly affected will be South Sudan and Sudan. Although South Sudan have been extended till May next 2019, and Sudanese citizens, it's only until 2018. So there will be a lot of complex movements between United States and African countries, where a lot of countries, for example, South Sudan, or Sudan in itself, although the sanctions are partially lifted, they're not prepared to receive the citizens back. So without the U.S. support in preparation of receiving the citizens, the U.S. will be facing another crisis. While sending the citizens back, they'll be facing a crisis where the countries themselves cannot hold the citizens, and that can also affect United States security.
Even though South Sudan and Sudan are the main countries impacted by DACA, all of Africa could be economically impacted.
Go other places. If you look at Uganda, it's hosting 1 million South Sudanese refugees. That means if the South Sudanese who go back to South Sudan cannot settle in South Sudan, they will go either to Uganda, Ethiopia, Kenya, or neighboring countries. So all countries in Africa will in essence be affected, and they might not have the economic capabilities to host that number of refugees. Economic situation in African countries is improving, but it's not improving fast enough to meet the conditions that it's being faced with, that's including war and famine. So with the trajectory of everything that's moving, especially the DACA reservations of the United States government towards the immigrants, I don't think African countries will be prepared, and because they will almost not have a choice, they will have to move their budgets or shift their budgets from other key areas. So in essence, in the next let's say 2 years, African countries will be dealing with that together with the US. So if the United States will make such a decision, they should also be willing to help African countries meet them or deal with them as they can.
Immigration continues to be a major topic of discussion as DACA is still under debate within the U.S. government. From Washington, Maria Bird, Channels Television News.
One of 2018's most hotly anticipated new films, Black Panther, premiered for African audiences in the Kenyan hometown of one of the film's stars, Kenyan-Mexican actress Lupita Nyong'o. As Mohammed Yusuf reports for VOA from the premiere in the Kenyan city of Kisumu, audience members praised the film for its fresh take on the continent.
The Africa premiere of the Black Panther movie drew several hundred people in the western city of Kisumu. The stars of the movie were not in attendance, but that did not dampen the atmosphere here.
To be honest, it's a great honor that Kisumu is the first place in Africa that this movie is screened. We are so happy that we are honored this way.
This film is being hailed as an example of the Afrofuturism movement, which blends science fiction and African tradition to reimagine the past and visualize what is to come. After the film, the viewers gave positive reviews.
What I remember is this interesting mix between the traditional and the postmodern. And something about the movie which I liked is that evil was punished at the end.
The costumes, they have amazing costumes. Like I think I have 3 dresses that I want to be made for.
Now, I'm a fan of hero movies. I've watched Captain America, The Avengers and all that. I was very eager to watch this one. So I've actually enjoyed the most part of it.
I think it's more of like massaging the African ego. Like we are strong, but we really don't know how strong we are.
Most importantly, people are happy to celebrate one of their own, Lupita Nyong'o. She couldn't be here in the flesh, but for her fans, seeing on a movie poster was enough. Mohammed Yusuf for VOA News, Kisumu, Kenya.
Well, and that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on the VOA website at voaafrica.com. I'm Vincent McCoy in Washington. Joker Rogers as our last word from Lagos.
Thanks, Vincent. We look forward to bringing you another show next week. Remember, channelstv.com is your source for local news, sports, and other programming. I'm Joker Rogers. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.